Sigma INFJs are the most detached people and are less concerned with earthly affairs. When everyone else is moved and affected, they don't change. Why is it the case? These are 8 really stupid reasons to be a Sigma INFJ. 8. They distinguish from conventions in society and oppose mainstream norms. Although this independence can be a strength for Sigma INFJs, it can also make them unaware of the real world's practicalities. They could be unable to see the advantages of some long-standing customs and systems because of their unwillingness to fit in. They can occasionally become blind to the practical realities of the world due to their propensity to challenge the status quo and question established structures. Sigma INFJs may disregard some tried and true customs and accepted standards in their rush to carve out their own niche. Their profound idealism is what lays at the heart of their naivety. These people firmly think that there is compassion, understanding, and peace in the world. Their enthusiasm and drive are fueled by their idealism, but it can also have the unintended consequence of making them blind to the harsher truths of life. 7. They think that people are naturally good. The fundamental source of the naivete of Sigma INFJs is their unwavering faith in people. Despite evidence to the contrary, Sigma INFJs have a tendency to see the best in people and tend to give them the benefit of the doubt. This trust can lead to genuine and deep interactions, but it can also leave people vulnerable to trickery and exploitation. It can be a blind spot for them to fail to see when someone is acting with malice, or when something is not quite right. Relationships are based on trust for Sigma INFJs, and they frequently show trust to people who may not deserve it. They may become ignorant to the nuances of human nature, where not everyone shares the same values of sincerity and authenticity. As a result of their quest for real connections, their aversion to conflict and desire for tranquility only serves to solidify their naivety. It can be difficult for Sigma INFJs to confront someone about their genuine intentions since they are afraid of upsetting the serenity that they hold so dearly. This unwillingness to confront possible problems may cause miscommunications and keep people from seeing the big picture. However, as a Sigma INFJ, what prevents you from being prepared to extend an open mind to others? 6. Their idealism is deep. Although Sigma INFJs may find inspiration and drive in this idealism, it can also make them extremely ignorant in many other areas of life. Fundamentally, the profound idealism of Sigma INFJs frequently centers on a picture of an improved society. They frequently work to establish a society that embodies their values of harmony, understanding, and compassion. They are ardent supporters of change. Their unshakable faith in the potential for a better world might occasionally cause them to ignore the less than perfect parts of the real world. Their activities and connections with others also reflect this idealistic point of view. Even in situations where the evidence seems to indicate contrary, Sigma INFJs are able to see the good in people. In the hopes that people will reach their full potential, they could be more likely to invest in and put their trust in certain people. But because they could find it difficult to discern when someone is acting dishonestly, this trust might occasionally leave them vulnerable to trickery and manipulation. When Sigma INFJ's idealism collides with the complexity of human nature, their naivete is exposed. 5. They don't want to face dispute. To keep things upbeat, Sigma INFJs place a high value on harmony and peace in their relationships. But even in situations where resolving these disputes is essential, their desire to maintain harmony might occasionally cause them to minimize or avoid confrontations. Their empathy and compassion are the reasons behind their unwillingness to face conflict. Because they are so sensitive to the emotional health of those around them, some INFJs may worry that addressing disagreement would ruin the peace they value. Self-sacrifice may arise from this concern for others, since they may neglect their own wants and worries. They frequently lose out on chances for development and resolution because of their dislike of conflict. Sometimes their idealism can make them blind to the root reasons of problems, and unresolved issues can linger and lead to misunderstandings. As a result, individuals could find it difficult to handle intricate interpersonal situations. Sigma INFJs may unintentionally encourage undesirable patterns or behaviors in their relationships in an attempt to prevent conflict. Even if someone makes demands that are contrary to their values or well-being, they might yield to their demands in order to keep the peace. Do you believe that, as a Sigma INFJ, your desire for harmony and tranquility leads you to ignore or minimize problems? 4. They get lost in intuitive idealization. Being naturally imaginative, Sigma INFJs frequently create colorful, idealized inner worlds. They have a tendency to perceive people's potential for good despite evidence to the contrary. Because of their innate idealization, people may cling to romanticized conceptions of other people and firmly believe that they are capable of being their best selves. When reality doesn't live up to their optimistic expectations, this might lead to inflated expectations and eventual disappointment. Their natural idealism permeates not just their interactions with others, but also their worldviews. Sigma INFJs might have a utopian society that is characterized by harmony, understanding, and compassion. Although this vision can be a source of inspiration and drive, it can also make it difficult for them to see the less than perfect parts of reality. The harsher realities of life may be disregarded or minimized by Sigma INFJs in their effort to realize their romanticized fantasies. Sometimes, their unflinching faith in the prospect of a better future causes them to overlook the intricacies and practical considerations that come with real-world problems. 3. Their imagination is visionary. Because of their imaginative and creative nature, Sigma INFJs frequently view the world as having boundless possibilities. They are able to create complex mental landscapes, imagine ideal situations, and come up with big ideas. This ability to be creative can inspire and lead to invention, but it can also lead to a disengagement from the practicalities of life. Their tendency to idealize others is one way that this detachment may show up in their interpersonal interactions. Sigma INFJs frequently hold the view that people are good at heart and have the ability to see their grandeur, even in the face of contradicting facts. As a result, they could make investments in people who give them false hope, only to be let down when things don't turn out the way they had imagined. Their imaginative vision goes beyond individuals to include how they perceive the world. For Sigma INFJs, utopian images of a community characterized by harmony, understanding, and compassion may come to mind. Although these dreams can be extremely motivating, they can also make it difficult for them to recognize how complicated and frequently imperfect reality is. Do you, like many other Sigma INFJs, get lost in your dreams to the point where you overlook crucial details? 2. There's a chance of emotional vulnerability. Sigma INFJs are renowned for their sensitivity and depth of emotion. They frequently exhibit a wide range of emotions in a genuine and powerful way, wearing their hearts on their sleeves. Their capacity for deep emotional connection to others is a result of their emotional fragility, but it can also leave them open to trickery and manipulation by others who would prey on their sincere feelings. Because of their empathy, they frequently believe others to be sincere and give them the benefit of the doubt. Strong ties can be forged by this trust and openness to understanding, but it can also impair their judgment when someone's intentions aren't entirely sincere. It can be difficult for some INFJs to detect emotional manipulation or exploitation. Additionally, their emotional vulnerability may make it tough for them to resolve difficult situations or face disputes. They could worry that getting into arguments will ruin the emotional peace they hold in such high regard. Their inability to successfully settle conflicts may be hampered by their avoidance of it, which could lead to misconceptions and naivety in their relationships. Sigma INFJs have a tendency to get very attached to others, often to the expense of them. They might put other people's emotional needs ahead of their own, sometimes to the detriment of their own health. Although this altruism is wonderful, it can also expose them to being taken advantage of by others who don't always have their best interests in mind. 1. Genuine connections and authenticity are highly valued by them. Sometimes, Sigma INFJ's quest for authenticity might make them oblivious to the nuances and possible lies in interpersonal relationships. Their dedication to sincere relationships may cause them to fully trust others. Sigma INFJs frequently take people at their value, accepting them for who they really are. As a result, they may ignore warning signs or their gut when someone is acting dishonestly. This may leave individuals vulnerable to trickery and manipulation by anyone looking to take advantage of their good intentions. They also strive for genuineness in their personal relationships. Aspiring to be true to themselves, Sigma INFJs are frequently unabashedly sincere. However, people who are less serious or who might not share the same beliefs occasionally misunderstand or take advantage of this transparency. Sigma INFJs may invest a great deal of time and energy into romantic or platonic relationships in their pursuit of genuine connections. They emphasize the needs and feelings of others around them, which can occasionally result in self-sacrifice due to their emotional openness and readiness to invest in others. Do you, like other Sigma INFJs, look for depth and purpose in the relationships you're in right now? Although Sigma INFJs possess many excellent traits, their idealism can occasionally result in naivety. Because of this, it's critical that they develop discernment in their relationships with others by tempering their idealistic ideals with a good dose of reality. They can minimize the dangers of naivety while maximizing their strengths. Do you acknowledge that you are a wildly naive Sigma INFJ? How do you perceive this?